Hi friends, just another little tidbit that the Lord showed me, and this has been a few years ago, but it's relevant today because we are possibly standing on the precipice of the greatest move of God that the world has ever seen. And how do I know that, and where did it come from? As I was in my study time one morning, and I don't see visions, but I have seen one or two, and I don't normally, God just speaks to me like He does to most of you, but He was able to get this thought to me. I was sitting there, and for no reason at all, He took me back to the theater that I went to when I was a little boy. 15 cents a movie. and God had me go in, and I was sitting down, and you could go all day for 15 cents and you would watch one movie after another, but before the movies came on, there were the previews. And us little kids, we didn't want to watch the previews, even though they were telling about the big events that were coming up next week or in the weeks to come. The blockbusters that were just ahead. And so I was watching that, but I was watching the previews. And then God took me back in my mind, and I was reminiscing about the First Great Awakening. I was reminiscing about the Cane Ridge Revival in 1801, that 30,000 people went to that revival for a week, and literally out of that exploded a transformation for this entire nation for 50 years. And then in 1857, we see the Fulton Street Revival that began a revival that literally impacted America and the nations around us. And that revival actually went through the Civil War. It was a massive revival that impacted our nation again. But we started spiritually waning at the turn of the century. And in 1903, we saw a great revival in Wales. And that revival impacted the world, including America. And then in 1906, in Azusa Street, Los Angeles, California, there was an Azusa Street revival, a great revival. We've not had a revival like that since, an awakening since that time. So what God then set me down and He explained to me was the greats back at that time. William Seymour, God had spoken to him from Azusa Street and said in about 100 years from 1906 would be the last end-time revival. God has shown that to Smith Wigglesworth. He's shown it to Catherine Kuhlman. He's shown it to Bob Jones. Every spectrum of our faith group, and many, many more, but these are just some that have said that God said to them that there would be an end-time last revival. And all of the revivals of the past would just be previews, just little snippets of what He had to come and what it was going to look like and how it was going to transform the world with tens of millions of people worldwide actually coming to Christ. The isms of the world, the Muslims, the Buddhists, the Hindus, all of them will understand and know through this revival, however God chooses to release it, that will know that there's only one God in heaven, and our God, El Shaddai, is that God. Jehovah is that God. Yahweh is that God. And the God in heaven through His Son Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and life, and no man comes to the Father except by me. So we understand that Jesus is the way, and through this awakening, through this revival, God will bring the masses of the world to a knowledge of Him. How do we know that? Isaiah 60 verse 5. And the abundance of the seas will be converted unto Him. The seas are the peoples of the world. And the abundance is the majority of the world that we know it. That's never happened. It's yet to happen. So the revivalists of the world are looking for that day. And we believe that we're standing just on the precipice of seeing it happen. So thank you for letting me share that with you. God bless you, and you have a great day.